Well, folks, it continues to happen for the Toronto Raptors. And I so desperately want to get excited about this Raptors game. RJ was phenomenal. Jakob Poeltl had the best game of his NBA career. But no, we can't have good things as Raptors fans this season as the team continues to be decimated by injuries over the course of this year. And now Scottie Barnes has once again gone down with a very scary looking injury. Now, we do have some details in terms of the immediate reports on the injury situation, so we'll discuss that. But it is just, I know, a lot of people are pushing to capture that flag, to really hope this team continues to take L's, to take some losses, and injuries do help with the quest to getting a top overall selection. But Scottie Barnes, Immanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, this is the core. This is the future of this organization. And having them in and out of the lineup over the course of the season just ruins a development year, regardless of how you're feeling about wins and losses. So to see all these injuries happen, it's extremely frustrating. Even more frustrating in a game like this, where the Toronto Raptors had a very fun, encouraging, even despite the loss game against the New York Knicks and the referees, which we'll talk about in this one as well. So lots of stuff to dive into in this video. But before we do, folks, this video is sponsored by Rentals.ca, who are proud partners of Team Canada. While they've been supporting our national team defend their home court in international competition, they've been helping thousands of Canadians find their home court all across the country. Whether you're in Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, Calgary, Halifax, Winnipeg, Mississauga, Edmonton, Victoria, St. John's, from coast to coast, Rentals.ca helps you find the perfect place and price for you. Their website is extremely clean and easy to use, and you can pinpoint exactly on the map where you're interested in moving, and Rentals.ca will be able to find you the perfect destination. So definitely check them out in the pinned comment as well as the description down below. And shout out to Rentals.ca for supporting our national team, for supporting this channel on so many videos over the past couple years. Been a phenomenal partner to us, but most importantly, supporting you guys. Whatever you're looking for, apartments, houses, condos, whatever it is, Rentals.ca has you covered. So make sure to check them out down below because, again, while things are a little bit dreary here for Raptors fans, they can put you at least in a good spot, get you a good living room to watch these games in. But let's dive into it because, again, this was a game I was really enthralled by, for this Raptors team. One of the more exciting games of the year, came right down to the wire. The Raptors are making the push, but did end up losing 108 to 113. It's very close to the end. Karl Anthony Towns' dagger shot just really broke the hearts of Raptors fans. But I will talk about this first because I know people want to hear about the updates regarding the Scottie Barnes, because Scottie ended up going down with injury, middle of this game. It just sucks to see, right? I broke it down in the intro. I broke it down at the beginning. Having so many injuries over the course of this year is bad. And Scottie Barnes landed on Karl Anthony Towns' foot, and we don't know. We don't know what's going to come of it, but Darko Rajaković did give us some insights in terms of what's going on. So it is his right ankle. We did x-rays and they came back negative. So we'll see how he feels tomorrow. Now, I'm seeing some people run with this and be like, oh, the x-rays came back negative. This is just a no big deal. This is a whatever. Well, x-rays coming back negative just means there's no break. There's no clear, maybe even tears. I'm not a doctor, but we've seen this story multiple times before where, x-rays come back negative and it's positive, and then, the guy's out for 6-8 weeks, multiple months and stuff, depending on how bad the injury is. Now, I'm very, very hopeful that this is something where, again, it's just a little bit of a scare. The video footage caught Scottie Barnes essentially saying, hey, I can't feel my foot. This is not good. This is not a good situation. But the fact that the x-rays are negative is the best news we could have heard here now at this point. But again, we'll see how it actually ends up playing out for this Raptors team. But, for Scottie Barnes, who's, on the come up this year, right, his stats have really just continued to improve every single night, every single game, averaging 21 points per game, 8.7 rebounds, 7.8 assists, and shooting over 30% from the three-point line now at this point, which is good because he was struggling to knock down the three-point shot at the beginning of the year, right? Scottie Barnes is really coming to his own, during the second stint of the season for the Raptors, just coming out and getting out there. So if he's out for a couple weeks, a month, no games, if he's missing time, it just sucks because he's been in a very, very good rhythm as of late. And we want to see Scottie Barnes. I know there's a ton of people that are rooting for this team to lose, that don't want to see this team get W's, but at the cost of a star player losing so many games of development, losing so many opportunities to show out, to just continue to develop, to continue to build that star resume. I mean, it's just, it sucks. It sucks. There's no good way to spin that reality of what's going on for this Raptors team. So again, sucks to see Scottie Barnes go down with injury. Hopefully, we'll break it down in terms of whenever we get any updates regarding Scottie Barnes at this point. IQ is supposed to be coming back sometime soon-ish. There's been a lot of different reports coming up in the air about Immanuel Quickley, but the two big guys the Raptors invested their future in have been dealing with serious injuries over the course of this year, so it just sucks to see. But there was a game that played beyond the Scottie Barnes injury, and OG out there for the Knicks had some phenomenal defensive performances. I love OG. Everyone knows that watched these videos and stuff, but this was still a heist for the Toronto Raptors with what RJ Barrett's just able to provide for this team game in, game out. 30 points for RJ Barrett tonight, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and got robbed there at the end of an and one. That really would have been a momentum swinger, but, they called it on the floor. It was clearly an and one. He had a couple just weird calls at the end that weren't going his way, but RJ Barrett just continues to show his poise, continues to show that he is a guy that is, really bound for stardom out here in the NBA. And his energy, whether it's slashing the basket, he's improved three-point shooter over the course of the season, but going up against his former team, RJ Barrett showed no, timidness, no worries going up against that former squad, and he really, as he's been doing this entire year, proved why he is that guy for the Toronto Raptors over the course of the season. Obviously, with Scottie Barnes being in and out of the lineup, RJ's been our most consistent guy, been our most consistent player, been our 1A for a large chunk of the season, and tonight was no exception. So RJ Barrett looked phenomenal, but a guy that, really earned this game tonight was Jakob Poeltl, who is out here, getting some proper run where some of the other guards in the Raptors rotation haven't really been in the mix, for a bunch of consistent minutes, specifically Jamal Shead. But Jakob Poeltl out here, coming out and just really being effective now off the bench for the Toronto Raptors, right? 22 minutes, 6 of 12 shooting from the field, 19 points in this game, and only 22 minutes. I saw some people, out there saying, the tank, Darko Rajaković is pushing for those because Jakob Poeltl was playing phenomenal and I just wasn't getting out there on the court for a ton of this game. But obviously, there's a lot of guards out there in the rotation right now. It's forced Shed out of the lineup. Davion Mitchell also had, the box score might not indicate this, but Davion Mitchell had a really solid game in this one as well. Knocked down a couple 3-point shots, played some solid defense, did some different things out there. Was pretty effective in the clutch as well. So again, him and Jakob Poeltl splitting minutes out there off the bench is tough. And no Chris Boucher obviously in this one. Made a whole video on that yesterday in regards to the whole Chris Boucher situation. But so many guards out here for the Toronto Raptors. But I mean, if we're dealing with so many injuries over the course of the season, there's going to be a lot of minutes to be had. Lots of minutes to go around for this squad. But again, Jakob Poeltl and RJ Barrett were really, really good for this team. Jakob Poeltl played solid defense, but 10 points, 12 rebounds, not the craziest for Jakob Poeltl games. Gradey Dick, he's been up and down since he's returned from injury. Had some big games, but also some, I don't want to call this a stinker, but an open three there at the end. And one day, folks, we'll get Gradey Dick to knock down a 3-point shot out there in the clutch. But I love the confidence he has to take those looks, to fire them up, whether they're contested or not. Again, Gradey Dick has been a revelation this season in terms of how effective he's been out there for the Toronto Raptors. So that's a positive. Ujiri Abaji played some solid defense, but I'm not complaining about Ochai Agbaji. He's been one of the most consistent 3-point shooters in the NBA over the course of this year. Tonight wasn't the perfect night from him, but Kelly Olynyk, he continues to look solid. Got a little bit cooked out there on the defensive end for some possessions, but Mobo, in his second run out there on the court, it was a little bit better, but was pretty cold out there at the start of this game. But still had 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 6 points. A little bit outplayed out there at least the beginning by old Precious Achiuwa there, but Precious had a hot start, but. The Knicks are a good team. They're a good team. Our star player went down with injury. There were some absolutely abysmal calls by Tony Brothers and different folks out there. So it's how it goes, right? And the New York Knicks, they're a good team. Towns, Brunson, all those guys played well. OG had some really clutch defensive stops. Mikal Bridges knocking down his 3-point shot despite the unorthodox form. It's I'm not worried about the results, the losses at any point over the season. The thing I am worried about, the thing that I'm most concerned about for this Raptors team is Scottie Barnes. So we'll see if he's able to return from injury, if he's going to be out for an extended period of time. We'll keep you covered here on the Raptors Digest, but make sure you guys, again, stay tuned, stay subscribed so you stay up to date with everything there. But I don't know, I'm a bit deflated. I'm a bit rotted at this injury situation here right now. So we'll just have to see how it plays out. But you guys, best thing is first, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Anyways, I'm signing out.